This Philly Voice report by Joseph Sasquatch is saying that Carson Wentz is selfish, egotistical, he plays favorites. Oh, he's so bad and horrible, right? He's all bad things. Well, here's what I think about this article. Fake news. Fake news. Fake news. Fake news. Joseph Sasquatch. That's my quarterback. And you know what? This is the same guy that called Carson Wentz a choker early in the season. Fake news.
Kick the red, double move on the red.
Yo, everybody doing? King Dingbat here, and I'm sure you all read or heard about the PhillyVoice.com article by Joseph Sasquatch. Who the hell can pronounce his name? But in it, he quotes unnamed sources to say Carson Wentz is selfish, egotistical, and he likes to show favorites. Well, here's my thing. To start out with, on this whole article and everything that came out today, the first thing is, and I'm not trying to get on my soapbox, I really am not, but anytime I read any article or hear any news from whether it's sports, political, any type of news, and I hear unnamed sources, I take it with a grain of salt. I take it with a grain of salt because anybody with an agenda, anybody that has a set mindset can say something about somebody else and use unnamed sources. Okay, I could go, Joseph Sasquatch loves to run around in women's underwear, watching Napoleon Dynamite, eating bananas. Unnamed sources have told me this. And then I could print an article and everybody believes he runs around in his underwear watching Napoleon Dynamite eating bananas. Same thing. It's not any different. Unnamed sources are unnamed sources. They could be real sources. They could be bullcrap. Who knows? But I take it with a grain of salt all the time. Now, I'm not going to reread this whole article to you because it's going to piss me off. I already read it twice and it just annoys me, okay? Basically, he's talking about how he's selfish, he's egotistical, and he makes a lot of assumptions. And I think what he's doing is he's taking his own opinion and trying to attach it to these unnamed sources. This is the same guy, okay, that earlier in the year said that Carson Wentz is a choker. He's a choke artist. And it was after the Carolina game. And basically, Carson didn't have a good end of the game. Carson came out and admitted that he didn't have a good game. And it's funny because he says he doesn't take accountability. Well, all you have to do is go back and watch the post game of that Carolina game and then go watch the end of the season press conference with Carson Wentz. There's nothing but accountability and humility in what Carson Wentz says, okay? But he trying to act like, oh, he's just some sort of faker. He just comes off as this Midwest nice country boy. But Carson's a little more devious and a little more smart. He's like an evil genius, right? This is what this guy's saying. And then he goes on. He talks about how, oh, Carson Wentz, you know, he favors one player and he only looks at Ertz. But when we look at the statistics and we look at the percentages of how much Carson favored guys compared to Nick Foles, you find out it's all crap. It's all crap. Like, let's go through some of this stuff. Now, this is from Bleeding Green Nation, okay? So, Wentz targeted Ertz 26.4% of the time. Nick Foles targeted him 24.4% of the time. Wentz targeted Alshon Jeffrey 20.3% of the time. Foles 19% of the time. Wentz targeted Aguilar 15% of the time. Foles did 17.3% of the time. So basically what they're saying is you have a 2% difference, okay, in how many times Wentz went to Ertz, how many times Foles went to Ertz. And really, in 11 games, it's 3 less targets per game. Okay, that's not a lot. That is not a lot. But this is the same dingbat that said Carson was a choker. Then the following week, Carson wins a game at the end. And you know, that narrative of saying that he was a choker, it really stuck for a lot of Eagle fans. And I thought it was unfair. You know, and then he talks about how a guy says they came out of training camp, they just weren't the same. But he doesn't mention that Nick Foles was there all training camp and preseason and the first 2 games. They didn't play good. Nick Foles didn't play good. And I think that for a lot of the season, you had Carson Wentz coming back from injury, bad knee, right? He had a knee brace, didn't have the mobility that he normally had. He had an offensive line that was hurt, banged up, struggling. The whole team, offensively and defensively, were struggling, okay? And Carson, I hate to say this, because numbers don't mean everything, but they do mean something. 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 102 quarterback rating, 69% completion percentage. This isn't crap. This isn't crap, okay? The guy was playing not that bad, despite everything going on around him. And then he hurts his back, and clearly from that bye week, we kind of saw a different Carson Wentz. He wasn't mobile, he wasn't moving, and it almost looked like he couldn't make certain throws down the field. And it seemed like in the fourth quarter of those games, he would kind of get going late, like when he tied up the Dallas game twice in both games at the end, but he struggled early on. Carson had one really, really bad game, maybe two, but if you look at like the last Dallas game that he played, the fourth quarter, he got it going. And I almost wonder if it like took his back 3 quarters just to get loose enough to make certain throws, you know. But I think this is one of the most unfair articles I've read. And this guy doesn't like Carson Wentz. Let's face it. This guy had said he's a choker. I think this guy has also said that the Eagles would be the new Cleveland Browns, something to that effect. But he didn't like the trade when the Eagles got Carson Wentz. So he didn't like him from the beginning. Okay? Now, here's how we know this is crap. This is BS. Look at the response from the players and even media guys running to Carson's aid, running to have his back. We've seen stories like this in the past about other Eagle players. When it's true, you notice how nobody comes out and says, no, that's not true. They don't do it. They don't do it. But in this case, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Brooks, Jason Kelce, Zach Ertz, Nate Sudfeld, I saw Glenn McNow, Howard Eskin, Sal Paolantonio. All these people are saying this is crap. So do I believe it? No. This is what I call fake news. This is fake news, and this is why I don't believe the news anytime, anywhere. I don't care what side of the aisle they are on. I don't care what they're talking about. I don't care if they're Eagle fans. I don't care. I don't believe the news. I just don't. This is why I am a conspiracy theorist at heart, because I can't trust anything being said. And this article is crap. And it pisses me off. Double moonwalk this article. Get rid of it. It's crap. And I hope Carson reads it. I hope he is motivated by it and he comes and double moonwalks the NFL's ass next year. But I hate this article. And I think this article is completely unfair and 100% BS. Look, I make no qualms about it. Carson Wentz is my quarterback. He is my quarterback. Now, in closing, I want to read what Jason Kelce said, because I think what Jason Kelce said is everything you need to know about Carson Wentz, who he is, and what he's going to do for this team. So here's what Kelce said. Now, this comes from Bleeding Green Nation. I'll put the link in the description. It says, Carson arrived here 3 seasons ago and has been nothing but an incredible teammate. From the moment he started taking reps as a rookie, you knew there was something different about him, and our entire offense got better, largely because of the competitor and player he is. His work ethic and attention to detail every day made an impact on others, and he is without a doubt a tremendous leader through his words and actions. I have not read Joe's article, and I don't want to get into the habit of addressing unnamed sources, but I know this. Carson Wentz, the first 3 years, has been nothing but a great teammate, trying to get better each and every day, trying to make others better each and every day, trying to make this team better each and every day. And when the dust settles, his legacy will be one of an incredible competitor and teammate who laid it on the line each and every day for the guy next to him, and a man who did everything he could to help this team succeed. I'll go to war any day of the week and twice on Sunday with guys like Carson Wentz. Don't be a dingbat.